This is why you look better in the mirror than you do in real life. It's a brutal truth. Joking. I'm taking the Michael. You got baited. No, you look no different. And the reason why is this. I'm going to explain the perception. Technically, I didn't lie. You do look very different. If you look at yourself in the mirror for X amount of time, and then you take a picture of yourself inverted, you will notice the differences. You will notice the asymmetry. You will notice that you look off, the distortion. If you take it from a different angle, all of these things will be slightly different. However, got the sun giving me some natural lighting. However, there is a big but to all of this, which is essentially the reason why the inverted filter isn't actually real is even though it is, you view yourself for 18 years in the mirror, or 30 years, or 40 years, or 25 years, or 12 years in the mirror straight. Every single day you see yourself in the mirror. You build up a certain perception of yourself. And therefore, when you see yourself flipped around and you see yourself, your face, the same face, but it's flipped around, you literally notice every single asymmetry, every single oddity, every single incorrect piece of the sculpture that is your face. And that is not to say that everyone else sees you that same way. You have to take away bias. Fine, you may have a bit of asymmetry, but is it really worth the stress? No, because everyone else sees you in a different way, but in the same way. The reason being, they'll see you only inverted. They'll only see you flipped around in real life. They will only see you that way. They're not going to see you, flipped around again. It's not natural. It's the same way you look in the mirror, then you get a filter to see yourself flipped around. Then you get freaked out. People aren't going to see you flipped and then see you flipped back to the way that you usually see yourself and therefore freak out. It is all a matter of perception. Yes, you may have slight asymmetry. Yes, that is completely natural. Everyone does, because no one has perfect posture. No one has a perfectly symmetrical palate. No one has, even a perfectly symmetrical spine. Nearly everyone, 97% of people these days have slight scoliosis. So all of these things are basically to say it's all a matter of perception. And yes, you can fix your asymmetry. I have detailed videos on exactly how I went about trying to do that. You can see a photo of my face here where I was exceptionally asymmetrical. And in that case, then maybe it is worth worrying about. Maybe if you can actually see it in the mirror, in the normal mirror, without looking in the inverted filter, then it is worth worrying about, because it might be severe. However, looks maxing, health maxing, improving your looks by improving your health, which is what I've obsessed over for years, which is what I still obsess over. Even with my business, I still do it for 25 minutes a day. I still have some bloody raw milk pre-shipped to me. I'm currently in Dubai, and I had this pre-shipped before I even landed. I literally scouted for 48 hours. I couldn't even arrive here until I made sure I had my steak, my milk, my fruit, everything sourced properly. I still believe in my principles. And you don't have to be the same way, but it is kind of sorry to say, you need to focus on the highest ROI things. What gives you the biggest bang for your buck? Is improving the slight asymmetry, which you only notice because you flip the camera around, worth giving up the time you could spend on building yourself, building your relationships, building your business, or even improving your bone structure, thickening your eyebrows, getting out in the sun, getting a natural tan, building your body, building your mind, meditating, my voice. Wow. I haven't had a voice crack in ages. Mind that. Jesus, that's crazy. But is it really worth the time that you could be spending on these higher ROI activities, these things which are directly improving your health, directly improving, not only your efficiency, your productivity, your fulfillment, but also your looks as a byproduct? Asymmetry is solely focused on fulfilling some superficial expectation, not on fulfilling and focusing on your health. Looks are a byproduct of health. Asymmetry isn't natural. If you had a perfectly symmetrical palate, you had perfect tongue posture, as a result of perfect chewing, swallowing, breathing posture, you would never have asymmetry in the first place. Therefore, focus on the higher ROI things, and not only will you improve much faster, these bigger things, but you may even improve your asymmetry without even trying. At the same time, you have to think about it like this, right? So you see yourself a certain way in the mirror, then you see yourself flipped around, you see yourself with different distortion. Your eyebrows will still be thicker in both scenarios. Your jaw will still be more developed, not to flex on you. Wow, that's pretty good lighting. Your jaw will still be more developed in both situations. Your neck will still be thinner in both situations, or thicker in both situations. And therefore, no matter whether it's flipped, inverted, asymmetrical, distorted, you will still have these better features, which are a byproduct of health. So focus on the higher ROI things. Stop worrying about perception. No one else is worrying about your asymmetry. They aren't even noticing it. They are worrying about the way you present yourself and the bigger things, and also these health indicators. Everything's, we're animals. We're biologically hardwired to pick the healthiest mate. That's all that we find attractive, any feature, a developed jaw, developed cheekbones, wide smile, all byproducts of being healthy. So it is a matter of perception. You view yourself a certain way, then you see yourself a slightly different way flipped for the first time when you've seen yourself 99% a certain way. Of course, you're going to be freaked out. Same thing for the other way around with people. They view you a certain way and they're never going to actually see you flipped. Therefore, don't worry about the little asymmetry unless you have crazy asymmetry, in which case I have a full video for you. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is it's pretty much the same thing with life. It's basically something that everyone needs to learn. And I'm going to big bro a lot of you here, even though I voice cracked like a minute ago, which is essentially it's the same thing with life. The entire basis of life is firstly not worrying. So therefore, if you're worrying exactly about any kind of asymmetry constantly and worrying about the way that you look and caring about other people's expectations rather than doing all of this from a place of health and from a place of wanting to truly improve and be the best version of yourself, you're already de-manifesting results because your mind is already going to limit you. Body, mind, soul. You are doing all of this so that your mind can be wired properly. When you're healthy, you can think properly because your hormones are straight, your gut's healthy, and your brain's wired properly. You're not doing this to meet superficial expectations to pull a girl, which is how I used to do it, and probably the most pointless thing ever because it's not what they want in the first place. And at the same time, you are literally detracting and devaluing yourself. Focus on the higher ROI things. Find health in a world that is filled with processed food, terrible habits, terrible expectations, and a way of living that is projected onto you to make you depressed. I'm not saying this to freak you out, but as an example, we are all told that we need to go to university, that we need to get a certain job, we need to get good grades in school in order to fulfill these things. We need to live a certain way. And that is your perception. I'm not saying that is your perception. There may be a lot of people way more successful than me, but I am saying that was my perception. And then you see it flipped, right? You see these people making loads of money online. You see these people doing these successful things. You see 17-year-olds making businesses, multi-trillion, multi-nine-figure apps, doing these big things, taking initiative. And you realize that your entire paradigm gets shifted, your entire worldview, the same way that the inverted filter flips you. You're so used to seeing the world a certain way, like you were seeing yourself in the mirror. When you see yourself flipped, or when you see someone, or that the world isn't the way it actually is presented, you can't really comprehend it. You don't know what to do, and you kind of just you either get stuck or you become obsessed with achieving that way of life. And the most important thing isn't not to go to university or isn't to go to university. It is simply a matter of finding out your why, truly doing things for the right reasons, taking action rather than worrying and manifesting that worry into the universe. It sounds, hippie. It's not hippie. Whether you believe in God, you don't believe in God, all of these things, it is all a matter of energy. It's basic kind of quantum physics, to be honest, on a subatomic level. Subatomic particles are energy. That is all things are. Literally, we are energy. And therefore, if you are constantly worrying, if you are constantly saying, I'm worried this is going to happen, then you are literally creating that in your life. Whether you believe it or not, your mind is the most powerful aspect of everything. It's the one thing that every single religion, every single person can actually agree on. So don't disregard that. Take action and really focus on the higher ROI things. Do the things that truly make you happy. Find out your why. Take action. And going back to the main point, which is it doesn't matter whether you look better in the mirror or in person. Why did you click on this video? I know I basically sidetracked it, but leave this video. You probably entered this video trying to get, feel better at that, or get stressed out or like find out this crazy thumbnail title. Hopefully you're leaving realizing the world is your oyster, take action. My entire channel is filled with free advice on how to actually improve your health and looks. There are loads of other channels online, how to start a business, how to study better, how to be more productive, how to run faster, how to be stronger, how to be more fulfilled, how to be funnier, how to be charismatic. Just learn. That is the entire point of life. The entire point of life is taking risks, taking action, learning from your mistakes, trying things out, being in different places, and just making the most of it. Please stop worrying about these superficial things. I'm not saying don't looks max, health max, everything I say. I still do it 25 minutes, 30 minutes a day. I still drink the milk. I still eat the diet. I still don't cheat. I still don't make exceptions. I sat on a plane for 12 hours and didn't eat food because I'm just strict like that. You don't need to be like that, but find out your why. Find out what you want to do. I want to help people. That's my why, So lock in, become the best version of yourself. You do not look worse in person than you do in the mirror. It's all a matter of perception. Focus on the higher ROI things, and cheers to the sun for being a paid actor and giving me some W lighting. Peace out. Stop being absolutely cooked. And this was a truly legendary video. And if you need any more advice, if you want to work with me one-on-one, you can click the link on the description. At the same time, you'll get access to full guides on exactly how to tackle this stuff. No lies, no BS, straight source, and also a community of other goated individuals. See you.